Welcome to the Defense and Aerospace Report. I'm Vago Muradian. We're covering the Association of the United States Army's Global Force Symposium in Huntsville, Alabama, where our coverage is sponsored by Leonardo DRS. There we met with David Pittman, the Chief Scientist of the Army Corps of Engineers, who also directs the Corps' Army Engineer Research and Development Center in Vicksburg, Mississippi. We asked him how the center is helping modernize the Army.
So the ERDC, the Engineer Research and Development Center, conducts research and development for the Army Corps of Engineers, the Army, the Department of Defense, and the nation. We do work that makes the world safer and better. The ERDC is one of 5 S&T groups that are working in the Army, and we're all working together, again, focused on those modernization priorities. So ERDC is very involved in the next generation combat vehicles, for instance, air missile defense, network C3I, the intelligence part of network C3I, long-range precision fires even. About the only area we're not working heavily in is soldier lethality. We also do a lot of work that's not necessarily categorized in modernization priorities. Traditional engineering functions like force protection, structural hardening, and force projection, getting our force from CONUS into the theater itself. So very, very inspiring work. We're very excited about how we're going to help the Army do what it needs to do in the future. The way we're working inside the Army's modernization priorities are, we're supporting the folks that are actually making the next tank, the next helicopter, the next air missile defense. So the engineers play a critical role in warfighting functions. So while we're not actually making the tank, for instance, we work with the people who actually make the tanks to make the tanks go better. For instance, mobility, modeling simulation, that sort of thing. So we work with the guys who are actually out there making the platforms, making them better. The modernization priorities will be a focus for all the Army S&T organizations, including ERDC going forward. So we're working with the other Army S&T organizations. We're working with DASA RT, the staff function. We're working with the PMs, the CFTs, all the organizations now that Dr. Esper has set up, focused on how we're going to address modernization priorities going forward. We're very excited about that. And now that the bill has been signed, the omnibus bill has been signed, the whole Department of Defense will have a whole lot better direction. The President's very supportive of the Department of Defense, and so is the Congress, and that's very good for our nation, for our nation's security. So now we can start focusing on exactly what we're going to do as the budget becomes a lot more certain going forward. You've got to worry about the tail end, which oftentimes drives the cost way, way up. We also think about sustainability too on the other side of the Corps of Engineers mission in civil works. Our nation's infrastructure is crumbling around us, and so we don't have enough money to do all the repairs that we need to do. And so we're constantly worried in our S&T programs and coming up with new ways to make $1 go $10 worth, to make it go a lot further. And so we got to worry about sustainability issues on the military side and the civil works side as we go forward. The ERDC, the Engineer Research and Development Center, where I work, is headquartered in Vicksburg, Mississippi. We've been around since 1929, helping to solve some of the nation's toughest challenges. We're there today. We're actually in 4 states now, not just Mississippi. We're in Illinois, New Hampshire, and Washington as well. But we're very, very excited to bring not only technologies to the warfighter, but we have a whole civil works mission as well, where we're helping to mitigate against floods, keep our navigable waterways open, respond to disasters. For instance, right now we're helping to rebuild Puerto Rico after the power grid was shut down. So the Corps of Engineers has a very broad role. It's a very important role, and it's very satisfying to us when we get to work in these kind of areas. At this exposition in Huntsville, it's a great exposition, by the way, AUSA. It's all about relationships, talking to folks who are doing similar kinds of things to us. It's about listening and understanding what other folks and their contributions to the fight. And it's about coordinating what we're doing. But in the end, it's about relationships. It's about the folks that are working in the same areas that we're working on. It was a very inspiring talk by Dr. Esper this morning, as he talked to us about how we need to shift from 45 years ago when we were going through this in 1973, similar situation today. So we need a new Army as we go forward, and the S&T role in making that happen is very, very exciting. So we're glad to be a part of that. What's very inspiring is the leadership from Dr. Esper on down, Chief Staff of the Army, all of our leaders that are focused on trying to get this done. We all understand that we have some very important missions going forward for us. We got to change what we're doing, not only what we do, but how we do it. And the leaders, to me, the leaders so far have been very inspiring as we go forward.